What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazik, aka Unique Mazik. It is my pleasure to have here Liam Paro. He is the reigning IBF World Super Lightweight Champion. How you doing today, Liam?
I'm good, brother, and thanks for having me on the channel.
Yes, sir. I appreciate your time for sure, man. Um, I got it. So obviously, this is a humongous fight coming up, December 7th. You against Richardson Hitchins. Um, so talk to me a little bit about how camp has been leading up to this fight and just how you're feeling overall.
Look, camp's been unbelievable. It's we finished it. We've done the first 5 weeks in Brisbane, Australia, and finishing off the last 5 weeks here in Delray Beach, Florida. So it's been good. The sparring's been top notch, world class, and yeah, I'm just itching to get in there now. It's 2.5 weeks time, and yeah, God willing, defend that title in a dominating fashion. So super excited, feeling good.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me a little bit about like you. This is going to be essentially your second straight fight in Puerto Rico. How does that feel? How does that feel fighting there? I've been to fights there. The atmosphere, I know how that feels to me, but as a fighter, how does it feel for you fighting in Puerto Rico?
Um, Look, I believe it's going to be a different reception this time around. We're not facing the current champion from Puerto Rico. So look, I'm excited. I really am. As soon as I found out I was back in Puerto Rico, I was super excited about it, because it's a beautiful country, beautiful people, and going back to the land that gave me the opportunity to become champion is really special. So yeah, I'm excited to get back there and win some more fans over after this.
Yeah, it was a really very memorable performance. Like midway through, I think there was a little bit of a shift anyway, at certain points for some parts of the fans that were there. So now, obviously, like you said, you're going into this fight as the champion, came in as a challenger against Matthias. Is that a different mindset going in as a champion?
Never, no way. I've still got the contender mindset, and I'll still have that to the day I retire. There's still more and more to achieve. So, the day I retire is the day I'll become a champion. But for me, yeah, it's contender mindset forever. I just want to keep proving that I'm at the top of this division and taking guys out like this, and God willing, like Hitchins is just going to keep adding to that good resume.
Yeah. So what originally got you into boxing?
Look, I was big in Australia. Rugby league's massive over there, so it was in the football off season. I think I was 12, 13 years old, and yeah, I was one of my mates, the Tyson Best, was doing his hand wraps in the street before a boxing session, and young and curious, I asked what he was doing and asked if I could tag along. And honestly, from that day, I just fell in love with the sport, the competitiveness of boxing, and the ultimate test was like that was me straight away. I think life's about testing yourself, and what better way than going in there and boxing? And yeah, I just fell in love with the sport. Like I said, the competitiveness was just you can't compare, nothing compares.
Yeah, yeah. I always tell people like it's a different thing. It's a special thing in the ring. Like even when you're just like sparring and you're just training boxing, it's something different about that workout, that experience. And so I always like to hear like with fighters, like what was that moment that got you into the sport? Uh, so now when you fought Matthias, he obviously came into that fight. He had like this kind of boogeyman persona. Like it was like, oh man, this is the dude at 140 nobody wants. Did you ever buy into that whole concept? And even if you did, when did you realize that, wait a minute, this isn't anything I can't handle?
Yeah, look, you can't take nothing away from him. He's a tremendous fighter, tremendous champion at the time. And look, people, it was bound to happen. He was making undefeated world class fighters quit on the stool, 5 guys in a row. And then the tragedy that happened with Dadashev, rest in peace. It would all just played a big part in building him up to be this boogeyman guy, But look, we've always believed in ourselves, and we knew our team knew what skills we had and what we possessed, what grit and heart we've got, and it was just showing the world. And I thought, what better way than to do this against the so-called boogeyman, and not only that, but in his backyard, in his homeland, to go there. It just shows the warrior heart and the mindset I've got, and that I'll fight anyone anywhere. It doesn't matter. And look, it was a truly special moment, and it was a childhood dream made into reality. But the magnitude of the fight, trying to tell that to the casual boxing fans. This guy was the most avoided guy in not only my division but in boxing. No one was speaking his name. No one else did, but like the true warriors we are, we put our hand up with self-belief and yeah, we just showed the world what we were capable of. And December 7, I'm keen to continue to show the world what we're capable of. You know, we're only just starting to see the full potential of Paro. You still haven't seen it yet, and I just want to keep certifying my name at the top for years to come.
Yeah, all things considered, all of the things that are all around that fight, the location, everything, I consider it possibly the most impressive victory in boxing so far this year.
Man, I
Uh,
really appreciate that. I really do. Thank you.
to go in to Puerto Rico and beat this guy that nobody else, let alone was beating, even wanted to fight. He's like you said, making guys quit on the stool and then go in his hometown and win the fight on by decision unanimously and were deducted a point for holding at some point in the fight. So even then, overcoming the point deduction, I would say overall, I think it was probably the most impressive fight, impressive win of 2024 in boxing. So moving to Richardson, the face-off was interesting. Can you share a little bit of what he was saying to you in the face-off when you guys it was in the ring? I believe it was I can't even remember which fight it was. It was
Fight in Philadelphia, the boots
yeah, it
event.
was a boots. It was a boots fight. It was a boots event. Yes.
Look, it was just a normal stare off, and I could see his nervousness. You know, he's jittery, he's jumpy, and to me, that's nervous energy. You know, I had the same feeling when I fought Montana Love. You know, he's very verbal, very yappy, and I just believe that's just their way of hiding their insecurities and their disbelief. You know, we don't talk; we show our actions in the ring, and I've showed that previous time and time again. But he just said to me, he said, "What do you see when you look at me?" And I just said, "A scared man. I see a scared guy." And that was it, you know. And yeah, I'm not a big talker, but I can see through that stuff. And body language is a massive thing in this, in general. And yeah, being able to see the way the fidgetiness and the unease he had was yeah, it was enough to show me that he doesn't believe what he says, you know. And going back to that, we hear a lot of stuff, and the word on the street is he's a quitter. And I believe once you're a quitter, always a quitter. And I'm not the guy or the fighter you want to be in the ring with for 12 rounds to be figuring out if you are or not, because it's going to be a long 12 rounds.
Was that an odd question for the face-off? Have you ever is never any other fighter you've ever faced and it asked you something like that at that point?
No, but I just think it was a weird question, but it come out of a place of pure nerves. You know, it's not a question you're going to ask someone. Or I just, yeah, I don't know what it was about, but that's what I see. Is I think I was just seeing it pure nervous and unease. So yeah, I just told him what I thought. I said I see a scared guy in front of me, and yeah, that's it. I said, just show me. You've told me what you're gonna do. Just show me now. That's it. And we're 2.5 weeks away from that. So I just can't wait to get in there and yeah, just show the world what we keep knowing and what we already know, and just yeah, keep cementing my name at the top.
Okay, now I'm gonna ask in terms of like punching power, would you say that you feel like you have a significant advantage over Richardson when it comes to that?
Most definitely, yes. Numbers don't lie.
Mhm.
Um, I think that's clear. So yeah, we're just gonna wait and see, you know. But like I said, everyone at this top level can fight. I'm not taking nothing away from him. He's the mandatory challenger. He's worked his way up there for a reason, and we never look overlook anyone. You know, it's that's the biggest downfall in boxing. So my target's strictly on Richardson Hitchins' head and giving a dominating performance for December 7.
Yeah, yeah. I asked about the face off because there was some like I couldn't read the lips, but there
Yeah,
was definitely something different about the animations of like, just being there watching it. I was like, I wondered what you guys were saying to each other at the time. But that's interesting. That question that you say he asked you that it's the first time I've heard
yeah,
uh, a fighter say that their opponent asked them that in a face off. So I just wanted to figure out kind of what that was about. So I know you don't sound like the type of fighter that looks ahead, but is there a fight down the road in your weight region that you kind of have in your mind? Like, first things first, I got to take care of Richardson Hitchens, but this
yeah.
fight is one that I see that I'm like, yeah, I that's on my radar.
Look, like you said, I don't look past anyone. The focus is strictly this, but honestly, no lie, I want every single person. I want to be the guy at this division. I want every belt, every big name. So anyone that thinks they're up there, or that's everyone's in the firing line with a belt and a big name in the division. So I don't care what order I take them. I just want them one by one and keep proving to the world what we already know. So yeah, and in saying that, there's a lot of big fights. It's a packed division. There's some big names, and yeah, I welcome all with open arms.
Yeah. Now, I spoke with Oscar De La Hoya last week, and they mentioned a few different concepts and different fights and sort of so to speak. Um, Around somewhere around April, May, June, or whatever, around that time of 2025, Ryan Garcia is going to be eligible to come back. From based on what we see, he can't make 140. But I have heard your name bantered about different publications, different people, as somebody that he may challenge. If given all of the things that have happened with Ryan Garcia, is that a fight that you would entertain?
Most definitely, most definitely. You know what I mean? It's I'm the 140 pound king, I believe. And look, if they want me to go up, they're gonna have to dangle some serious carrots, you know. But look, 100% coming clean, coming normal, and 100% I want that fight. That's a big name. It's a household name, and taking a guy out like that of his caliber would make you a superstar, global superstar. So they're the names I want. They're the big names. They're the fights. I want to fight the best. Life's about testing yourself, and I want to keep testing myself at the top level.
Yeah, yeah. Now, speaking of household names, this past weekend, Friday night, uh, Netflix put on the humongous show. Over 108 million viewers saw Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. What were your thoughts on that fight, that event overall? I mean, it's kind of like that thing with in the real true purist boxing circles. It's kind of like some people. It's probably the most polarizing subject in the sport right now. What were
Yeah.
your thoughts?
Look, they did 60 million views, and that's 60 million eyes, new eyes to the sport of boxing. So to me, that's a marketing genius, you know. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, and if it's bringing new eyes to the sport, it's going to grow our sport. I'm all for it. You know what I mean? And you can't miss the undercard, the Barrios fight, the Serrano Taylor fight. That was unbelievable. So having that platform and showing casing those magnitude of fights and that caliber of fights, I think it's good for the boxing, like, look, it is what it is. The main event, like I said, it bring new eyes to the sport, more eyes to the sport. And if boxing can be more of a headline all around the world, I'm all for it.
Yeah, so I do think that's a point that people are missing is that yes, Tyson, Paul, you feel whatever way you felt about that, but on that same card, he did showcase two pure boxing matches. Barrios Ramos was a war, and
Yeah.
Serrano Taylor was an absolute war a second time. So he gave a platform, a larger platform, to two pure boxing matches that would have never had that platform without being on that show. And I do think, like you said, I think that that is definitely a factor. So I don't know if you do this or not, but do you have a prediction for what happens with you and Richardson?
Getting my hand raised and hearing the words "and still" by any means necessary.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, that's all I got for you, Liam, man. I appreciate your time so much. Nothing but best wishes moving forward.
Thank you very much, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, man.
You too. God bless.
Yes, sir. Same.